Welcome everyone to the Emotions, your roadmap to coaching emotions. And with you today is Rasha Alajus. And I would like to first share some fun facts regarding this webinar. So I've done it like 3 times now. The first one was in Arabic. I got some feedback and changed it again and updated it and did it in Arabic. And that's the third version, which is in English. So I really hope that you would enjoy it today, and I'll be waiting for your feedback in the end. Giving it in two different languages. I'm excited to compare both versions and both feedbacks, and even comparing myself when I'm delivering each of them, how I'm feeling, and how does it feel when I'm presenting this in English. And again, if I'm going too fast, just let me know, and if I'm going too slow, just let me know as well. So this webinar today it will last for like an hour and a half, and it's going to be in English. So I hope that everyone is fine with that. Would it be okay? Okay, perfect. So a little bit of house rules, or let's say house permissions. I would prefer that we would continue writing through chat if there's anything that would like to comment, unless there's something that you really want to communicate through voice. You can just raise your hand and it will open the mic for you, or you can unmute then and then you can communicate what are you trying to say. And as mentioned, it's an hour and a half and it's going to be in English. And feel free to have your camera off. That's totally fine with me. Because today we're going to focus on the power of voice. And again, so who's this person talking to you? Who's this Rasha Alajuz? And who's the one delivering this webinar today? So normally I will start with who am I? But then I found that if I'm going to say who am I, it's going to take like a lifetime, because then I will start since I was just born. So I'm thinking let's get practical and talk about what I do. What do I do? So I'm a managing partner for Lady Lingua, a translation company. I'm a council member of Chartered Institute of Linguists. I'm also a fellow linguist to the same institute and a chartered linguist. And in coaching, I am an AQ assessor, an ICF member, an ACC accredited coach, a Gallup strength coach, and Ericsson professional coach. And I see that here are some familiar faces, or let's say familiar names then, from my school. So, hi everyone. And then I'm curious to know. I'm going to show you a poll now. So I would love to know, let's say, yeah, it's being launched. Can you see it? Can you see the poll? Hello, Galiko. Yes. So please answer this. I would love to know more about you. Who here is a coach? Who's on their way to become a coach? And who's not a coach? And then you're here for the topic, for me, or for both? And what would you like to walk away with today? I would love to know more about you so I can tailor the conversation today to your expectations. Okay, I see the answers are coming. Thank you, thank you. So 30 more seconds and then I will end the poll. And feel free, of course, if you want to have a coffee, have a drink, anything while you're having the webinar today, please do. Okay. Seems people are interested in the poll. I'm gonna leave it a little bit more. Okay, so I'm gonna end the poll right now, and let's see the answers. Okay, so I'm sharing the results now. So 78% are coaches, 15 are on their way, and 7 are not coaches yet. And thank you for those who came for both of the topic and the presenter. Okay, so then it seems that the answer for the third question is not going to show right now. So anyway, thank you for doing that, and thank you for answering the poll right now. And oh, no worries, AG. Am I pronouncing your name right? Is it AG or Aggie?
It's Aggie, thank you.
Aggie. Okay, thank you so much for sharing that. Okay, I'm not sure, Aisha, why the poll didn't show up, but thank you. I know you at least, so I have a little bit of the answers. So that's gonna be minimize the damage at least. So, the conversation today would support you whether you are a coach or not a coach, because what we're gonna have today is understanding more about emotions and how do they show up and the language of emotions and how can we deal with them. A little bit of that, of course, would be supportive for coaches because in the end, this is about coaching, but you will benefit whether you're a coach, not a coach, or on your way to become a coach. So, what are emotions? If you just type out the word, one word, what do you think emotions are? Just a one word. Feelings, okay? Human, responses to input, reactions, communication, indicators, information, hmm, okay, meaning, reactions, movement, yeah, emotion. I learned that emotions are energy in motion, okay, communication, Hawaii P30 Lite. Yeah, so please change your names to the name that you used in the registration, so at least I can send you the certificate of attendance with your right name. Thank you for that. Beliefs and expression. Okay. So have you heard of Susan David? Who here heard Susan David? Yeah. So you know who Susan David is. Yes, emotional agility. Exactly. So I love her so much, and I love her way of defining emotions because really it's all about putting things in the simplest form. When we're starting to coach or we are starting to understand more about ourselves, the more you put it in simplest terms, the more you can understand, the more you can really live and absorb the information. So, what does Susan David say? Susan David says emotions are data. So what does this mean? Emotions are data is that means information. That means that something is being given to us. And do you ignore information? I don't think so. When you're given data or you're given information, they are not to be ignored. Then what should we listen to when we are listening to emotion? What is the data that emotions are trying to deliver? It's either the needs or values. So emotions are data that delivers or shows us what's our needs and what's our values. So For example, let's take loneliness as an emotion. What do you think is the need that loneliness might indicate? Connection. Aha, connection. What else? Connection. Okay. Relationship. Belonging. Okay. So loneliness, if we're thinking about loneliness, the need would be is I need to be around people. I need to have someone with me. I need company. And that's why when I don't have what I need, I feel lonely. But then when I'm thinking about the values, let's say, what does this denote and indicate that I value? It's the connection that you just mentioned now. I value connection. So when loneliness shows up in my life, I understand that I need to be around people, I need the company, and that I value connection. Of course, it shouldn't it can be different values. So it can be connection and other values might show up depending on who is this person and why he's feeling lonely. But this is I'm trying to just bring you the basics. So the basics for loneliness is I need to be around people. And then when I'm looking about what I value is I value connection. So let's take another emotion. How about jealousy then? What is the need for jealousy? What do you think? Security, okay? Attention, attention, self-confidence, including, okay? Envy, to be safe, ego. Yeah. So when you're thinking about jealousy, you know when I said that emotions denotes needs and values? So jealousy would operate in a different way. For jealousy, there's something I need, but others are fulfilling. So it's the other way around. That my needs and my values, someone else are living them. Someone else are fulfilling them. So if someone just bought a new car, for example, and I loved it, and I felt jealous because I saw this new car. So then what does this mean? It means that I needed to buy a new thing, for example, and then the other person did that. And that I value buying cars, for example, or enjoy riding new cars or enjoy buying new things, someone else is doing that. So for jealousy, it operates differently. It's about other people fulfilling what I need and value. So how does this sound so far? Is it clicking? Is it not? Okay, thank you, Lian, Guliko, and Hawaii P30 Lite. Thank you. Okay, so let's take another emotion. Happiness. What is the need that happiness would show me? What do I need? And this is also what is the need here? What do you think? Go back to the basics. Fulfillment, contentment, peace, human quality, sharing the joy. Aha, Najwa. Gratitude. It doesn't have to be something I need that other got. Re- Relief from something that's in the way. Okay, thank you. So, I'm sorry, may you explain a little bit of what you said? Is it about happiness or is it about
No,
jealousy?
it's about jealousy actually.
Okay, so let me know a little bit. What do you mean?
I mean, sometimes people just feel jealous not because they need that thing, that new car. They feel jealous because maybe they have their cars, maybe they have everything they want, they need, but they feel jealous because they don't have self-confidence. So it doesn't have to be something I need that others are fulfilling.
So thank you for sharing that. And that's why I'm saying that everything here is about the basics. So when we're talking about emotions, I'm bringing you the raw definition of emotions, needs, and values. And then you can dig deep to understand more what is in the what's there, what other layers are there. Because yeah, we all feel jealous. We all feel jealousy. We all feel lonely. We all feel happiness. But does it mean the same thing for everyone? It doesn't. But basically, there's a need and there's a value, and in its raw form, this is what it means. But then you would need, if you're a coach, then working with your client, you would need to dig a little bit more to understand where this is coming from. Is it about that other person is fulfilling what I need, or is it about that I'm having just I'm being envy and that's it? Or even other things might show up through the coaching conversation. So thank you for sharing that, Aula, so that I can also explain this. So going back to happiness. Happiness, when you're thinking about happiness, the basic need here is that I need more of this. So this is something that's making me, or this is supporting me in being happy, and I need more of this. It's joy and it's bringing me joy. And here's the value that something I value is bringing me joy. So again, I'm working on the basic. I'm saying something. I'm not defining what is this thing, which is also shows that human nature is very complex nature. It has so many things involved. So through coaching sessions and through the conversation, you get to know more about what is it that you need and what is the emotion trying to tell you, what is the need here, and what's the value. So, how does this again help us as coaches? As coaches, when a client comes to you with an emotion, try to understand the need and value behind that emotions. And ask questions that support this, because then you would support the client in deciphering this emotion, understanding the emotion, and indicating more and understanding more about what needs to be done now and what's their values as well. So understanding the values and the need will support your client or coachee in their journey towards growth. So if I'm not a coach, then how would this really be important to me? Because then we are all humans in the end. It's not about being a coach or not. It's about you being a human being. And first of all, before becoming a coach, you need to understand that the coaching, your human nature, understanding yourself would support you in supporting others understanding themselves. So then, when you hear emotions showing up in conversations, you would understand that there's a need and a value showing up there. So, any questions here before I move on? How does this sound to you? And thank you, Hala. Is it Hala or Hala? Hala, okay. Thank you. All good, deep, and real. Thank you so much. Okay, perfect. Then let's move on. Great. So, we've understood what are emotions and what are they bringing up as needs and values. Then how do they show up? How do emotions show up? So, either they show up verbally through explicit words like I'm happy, I feel sad, I feel angry. So, this is quite explicit. I'm expressing my emotions explicitly or implicitly through my words. For example, I might say that this meeting is boring, or I can't wait until this meeting ends. That means I feel bored and I'm not happy with the meeting and I want it to end. Or I might say, this seems interesting. Why they show up? Yes. So this question, Muhammad, why they show up, is in the definition of emotions. Emotions are data. And since they are data, they are showing up to tell us that there is a need or a value. I need something to fulfill, and there is a value that I'm looking for to achieving or activating or living. So from the definition of emotions, this is how we understand emotions in operation or emotions in motions. So does this answer your question, Mohammed? You're most welcome. You're most welcome. So going back to how do they show up? So either verbally through explicit words or implicit words. I'm saying, for example, oh, this seems fun. This means I feel joy. I'm feeling happy. I'm enjoying this. Or it can show up in non-verbally. So through facial expressions, when you're meeting someone in person, you can see if they're happy, if they're sad, if they're mad. It shows in their facial expressions or in their body gestures. So it seems in how do they sit? How do they stand? If they are moving their hands so fast, if they are walking so fast, or maybe walking too slow, if they are nervous, if they're tension. So everything is going to show up whether in their facial expressions or body gestures. So how do they show up? Verbally and non-verbally. And this is the fun exercise now. I'm going to show you a video and please let me know what do you notice. You can share your remarks or feedback or what you're noticing through chat or through the mic. So yeah, Gulika has answered also, Muhammad, because we are emotional creatures and it's natural as breathing for us humans. Yeah, thank you for that, Gulika. Okay, are you ready? We're gonna have fun now. So I want you to watch this video and let me know what you're noticing, whether through chat or opening the mic.
You know what I think? I think you're going to change the world someday.
No, I won't.
What? I think you're going to.
I'm evil.
Whoa!
I'll make everybody witches and bats and vampires.
And make them all sassy like you.
Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. I won't do it.
Okay, good.
No. I was just joking. I would never do that.
Good. Very, very good.
So how are you feeling? So would you like me to play it again? Playful. Yes. Voice tone, body language. Exactly. She really knows how to act. Yes. And did you see how did she change her facial expressions from one emotion to another? From being evil to being sassy and then to being just playful? Have you noticed that? Yes. And you can really see from her verbal expressions, I mean, and her non-verbal expressions, what does she really want and how she's expressing her emotions. Choice of words, facial expressions, even her body language. A little bit of her body language showed there. Yeah, her shoulders and forehead said it all. Yes, exactly. Yes. Just suppose that this young lady is now 10 years older. I believe that she's gonna be very, very expressive and very interesting to to have a conversation with? Okay. So, it seems, did you enjoy this video? Okay. Yes, 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 and yep, yes. Okay, so what is the need here? I need more of this, right? Okay. Yeah. So, now that we know how they show up and we had a little bit of fun,
What I think?
so let's go to the language of emotions. Thank you, Galika. So what are the language of emotions? How do they show up, the verbal ones, the explicitly said ones? How do they show up in a conversation? So the other, you can either express your emotion by saying, I am happy, I'm sad, I'm lonely, I am mad. Or maybe I feel happy, I feel sad, I feel lonely, and I feel mad. What do you think is the difference here? What's the difference between I am plus the feeling or I feel plus the feeling or the emotion here? Being versus feeling, okay? I feel is temporary. Identity versus observation of an emotion. Am me as a whole, thinking you are not what you feel. Yeah, without identifying with it. So you're masters of emotions now. You can give the webinar instead of me. Yeah, perfect. Exactly. So thank you, Tamara. Thank you, Sarah. Okay. Yes. So the difference between I am and I feel. When you say I am plus anything, you're identifying with the emotion. Your emotion becomes you and you become your emotion. And as coaches, we know that whatever comes close to your identity is kind of a little hard to change or deal with because then it's becoming a core. It's becoming your core. So if you're angry, for example, and you said, I am angry, not I feel angry, then you're identifying with this emotion. You know, as we say that I'm always angry and this is how I am, so just deal with it. In a way, it doesn't need to be in that way, but in a way, it's identifying with the emotion. And when you do that, and when you feel that, what's happening here then? It's going to be hard to change this emotion. But when you say, I feel the emotion, you're putting like there's a layer between you. You are de-associating yourself from the emotion or the feeling, and it's just outside of you. And as you said also in the comments on the chat, it's temporary. You would feel that it's just a status. It comes and goes because there's always a message there. There's always a need. There's always a value that we need to listen to. So when you are in a coaching session, for example, and then your client says, I'm happy or I feel happy, then you're listening here to the language of emotions, understanding more about how do they express the emotion. Do they identify themselves with the emotion or not? And then one of the things that you can do if the client is saying, I'm sad or I'm lonely, then you can share this observation while you're recapping. So I hear now that you're feeling lonely, that you're feeling sad. And in that way, you are recapping and supporting the client to understand that this is a feeling without leading the client through your questions. So in that way, understanding this also supports you even if you're not a coach. When you're expressing your own emotion, just listen how you're expressing them. Do you feel that emotion is part of you? Or is it you? And there's a whole lot of difference. So Muhammad, there's a question. Muhammad, what's the impact of culture on expressing the emotion? A huge impact, of course. Because then it's how have you raised, how you've been raised. Some cultures raises people not to express emotions because expressing emotion is a bad thing, and that you do not expressing emotions means that you are weak. Oh, of course, Lena, go ahead. And thank you so much for attending today. So when we're speaking about the culture, yes, if you're raised that emotion is a bad thing, if you're expressing emotion, then this is vulnerable. You're being weak, and this vulnerability. And when you're vulnerable, this is a bad thing. This can be an impact. When you're expressing emotions as a man, for example, some cultures would say that a man crying is a bad thing. That some cultures would say that because then you are weak. And I really disagree with that because emotions are emotions. And yes, culture can impact that, but our role as coaches or people who read a lot in emotions and are trying to understand more about themselves, to be more aware and to spread this awareness among people. Did I answer your questions? Yeah, thank you. Yes, I know where you're coming from, and that's why, yeah. So so now that we understood the language of emotions, any question here before we move forward? Okay. So, this is now we are now getting into the heat of our conversation today. So, anger. This is the emotion I picked today, an emotion which is very tricky. Why? Why is anger tricky? Anyone know? Why is anger a tricky emotion? Internally or externally directed? Yes. Okay. Facade. Okay. Negative. So many other emotions are under it. Okay. It's complicated. It could be based on other emotions. Exactly. Anger makes you different parts of your mind. Some cultures discourage to be expressed. Yes. Can lead to aggression. Yes. So if you're thinking about anger, anger is tricky because it has too many layers of emotions under it. Anger is the last thing that shows. So you don't just wake up and become angry or start to feel angry. When you wake up, something happens, you feel something. Another thing happens, you feel something else. Then something else happens, then you become angry. This can all happen with the same person, with the same thing, or it can happen gradually, and then you just explode for someone who is an innocent bystander. So anger is really very tricky because it has different layers of emotions under it. And it doesn't show up as it's alone. It's because many things happened first. So how can we move from this state to this state, from the anger to smile? There's a little bit of a demo I'm gonna do now. It's just a way of dealing with anger when it shows up in a coaching conversation. And also you can do that even if you're not a coach, with a friend, or maybe with your son or daughter, or with someone who's very dear to you, someone who can at least express themselves in front of you. So are you ready? Are you ready? Yep, 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 yep. I want yeses and yeps.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. And before that, let me share a quote with you. I sat with my anger long enough until she told me her real name was grief. Just a little. What are you noticing from this quote? A little bit of, just reflection. I sat with my anger long enough until she told me Her real name was Grief. So, Sarah, you raised your hand. Go ahead.
Thank you, Rasha. So, anger comes most of the time, or how I understood the anger, the feelings of anger, is that we have something inside us that we kept probably. And we always wanted to say it. Maybe we didn't know how to say it. Then once once that we feel full, it's time to say it. We express it in a way. I don't know if you
Yeah.
got my point. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Yes. So there are many things there. Many things are
Yeah.
there. Yeah. So Nirala, thank you, Sarah. Nirala,
Thank you.
I
Thank you.
am, yeah, go ahead. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you. Thank you. So I sat with anger long enough until she told me her real name was Grief. I would
Hmm.
suggest that there are mixed emotions in this, and the need to filter and decipher the real grief that is camouflaged as anger.
Hmm. Yes. And that's a good word here, using the word camouflage. Because here is this is really what anger is about. It comes as a camouflage for other emotions. You might be feeling grief, but you're expressing grief as an anger, not as grief. And this is where we need to sit with our emotions and understand what's really happening there. Thank you, Niral. And I'm seeing a lot of comments in the chat. Yes, I'm sensing now what I'm reading is that this quote really did hit a nerve, as they say. However, I'm gonna support you in deciphering anger now. So through the demo that I'm gonna do right now, it's just a little way I'm gonna speak to myself, you know. So I'm gonna two roles here. So be ready. Now there's a client who came to me. She feels angry and she has a certain topic that she wants to talk about today. She feels angry after having a conversation with this person, with a certain person. So when someone comes to you with this and you want to support them in understanding their anger, what would you start doing first? Start by understanding the anger and breaking it down into layers. As we mentioned before, emotions are data. They denote needs and values. And there are other emotions under anger. So breaking into emotions, needs, and values. And here's how. So I told her, so what is this emotion that you're coming with now? She told me anger. So then when you're sitting with your anger, what other emotions would show up? So she'd say frustration. I feel frustrated. So when you feel frustrated, if you just look around this frustration of yours, what other feelings might show up here? So she takes a moment, she thinks a little bit, and then she says, sadness. I feel sad. So, and why? Why is this sadness showing up? So she'd say, I don't feel seen, heard, or respected. Okay. And when you don't feel seen, heard, or respected, how will you be feeling? She would say helpless and powerless. And what would you need then? If you don't want to feel helpless and powerless, what is it that you would need? I would need to be understood. I need this person to understand me. I need them to give me this kind of understanding. So, before we continue with this demo, what are some values that are showing up in this conversation so far? Respect, okay, seen, acceptance, yeah, empathy, respect, power, empathy, connection, fundamental human needs, empathy, validation, power, to be seen, heard, and understood. Yes. Different deep emotions, understand. Okay. So let's see here. What are some values? Respect, as you said, connection as well, partnership, because she didn't feel that she's on the equal foot with this person while they're talking together. So she values partnership, she values connection, respect, also power and strength, as you've mentioned, and there's communication and appreciation. She wants to communicate with the person. She wants to feel that there's a connection. She wants to feel appreciated. And then the respect, she doesn't feel that. And then partnership is not being there. And the power and strength in this conversation. So how is this sitting with you so far? Before getting into part 2 of the demo. Okay, so true, it feels right. Yes, can relate. Okay, amazing. Thank you. Okay, so now let's go into, maybe you will explain, but what do you do when people struggle to name the emotion? Thank you, Rasha. Yeah, sure. Sure, and I will answer that. Yeah. Okay, love the meaning behind it and sounds like the feelings analysis. Okay, so let's now start with part 2. So it's time to turn the tables. We're gonna go the other way around. So from bottom up, now that we went from the top to the bottom, now we're gonna go back. And here's how. So if you were to get this need, if you were to be understood, how would you be feeling? She said, I would have the power to communicate. So when you have then, so what made this possible for you to have this power to communicate? Why do you have the power to communicate? She would say, I'm heard enough to have this conversation. So if you're heard enough to have this conversation, how would you be feeling then? So I would feel satisfied because then what I want is happening. What I need is happening. So there's going to be some satisfaction here. Okay. So when you feel satisfied, what other emotions are showing up? So she would say, I'm feeling more calm now. Because then this satisfaction is leading to something I want, and that would give me calmness. Okay. So then looking about being calm and thinking about that, How about anger now? Is it still there? No, of course not. There's peace. I would feel peace because then I'm already calm and I feel satisfied. So, what would happen to the conversation now? If you were to go back to the same conversation, what would you do differently that you after you became aware of what just happened right now? With this awareness, what would you do differently? So she would say that I would pause the conversation, I would express my emotions, I would harmonize the energies, our energies. So instead of one being angry out of the calm, then we would be on the same level. I will set boundaries, and someone has just mentioned boundaries. So I'm gonna set boundaries, and then I will continue the conversation. So even her tone of voice was different when she was expressing that. So how do you think this person would feel after a coaching conversation and after dissecting and deciphering her own? What are you noticing? Empowering, yes. Rational, at ease and connected with herself. Clarity, yes. She will be at ease with herself. Exactly. Validation, she understood her needs. Yes. Because the thing here is free. Yeah. Because the thing here is, as coaches, we are not with people 24/7. Our role is to support her in getting her answers from within her. So instead of saying, okay, you're feeling angry, you shouldn't feel that way, understand this and do this and think that, it will not come through. If you're trying to support someone in understanding their emotions, then getting them to find their answers, of course, if they are needing a coach at that moment, sometimes they would need just a friend. And if they're just needing a friend, then you don't need to say anything. Just being there is enough. And always ask this question when you're someone that's outside the coaching conversation, of course. How can I support you right now? What kind of support would you need? So this would be something that you can ask some people. Yes. So as Hala said, she would dig deeper next time and see what's behind her emotion because she's aware that her emotion is a symptom. Yes. And her values are connected now, like Sharifa said. Exactly. So connecting everything to the values and needs and supporting her in deciphering her emotions would be quite empowering, as you just mentioned now. Okay. How are you feeling? All of you. Now, okay. I'm smiling. Okay, Tamara, thank you for sharing that. I'm smiling too because you're smiling. Encouraged. Yeah, great. And what else? So I'm trying to coach you here. What else? Less afraid of navigating emotions with clients. Yes, Anna. Exactly, because when you understand it in the simplest words and terms, it really can be easy for you and easy for others. Empowered to navigate, grateful for the visual coaching tools. Thank you. Yeah, and in a way, I try to deliver things in the way I can understand them as well. So this is how my brain works during this visualization. Grateful. Okay. So now that everyone is feeling different kind of supportive emotions. So let me ask you a question before we go to the next thing. Are emotions bad, good, or neutral? They just are. Okay. Good, 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 good. Yeah. Okay. Yes. So our reactions to them are more indication neutral. Okay. Okay. So emotions are neutral. I mean, they are not good or bad. So they're not positive or negative. It's just that they might be pleasant or unpleasant because of how we react to those emotions. And that being said, we do not control emotions, we regulate them. Because as Susan David mentioned in her definition of emotions are data, there's a purpose for them showing up. And since they show up for a purpose, even fear has a positive intention. And when we understand what is the purpose and what's the meaning of the emotion showing up, then this is the true how we react to them is going to produce good results, maybe, or not. So, any questions here before we go into the next part? If you want to raise your hand, if you want to write on the chat, that's fine. Noor, is this a question or is this a comment?
Yes, please. I want to clear this. The last sentence you talk about it about
And
the
emotions.
Susan what we can't what I can't. It's not clear for me.
Oh, okay. So
Emotions what?
emotions are neutral. They are not bad or good. You know,
Okay.
they
We
might have.
we don't interact on it or what? You said something.
We do not control emotions. Do you mean this?
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
yeah, 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 yeah.
regulate them. Okay, we regulate
What the
them.
meaning of regulated them? يعني what
Regulate
is
them.
it?
Uh-huh. Okay.
How can we interact with this?
Okay, regulating emotions is understanding them and giving them what they need. They all have positive intentions, but this doesn't mean that they are good or bad. I cannot define them or put an adjective before them because then good or bad means that emotions are having something, you know. But what I say that emotions are neutral, they have positive intentions. If we heard the data they are trying to tell us, the need and value, fulfill them and understood them, then the emotion would just go away because then
Okay.
it fulfilled
So
why
on this
it's
sample,
uh-huh.
on this you make you make with us this. This
Yeah.
is not controlling. This is how can we deal on it?
Yes.
On this slide,
This
it's not control.
is not control. I do not control my emotions. I might control my reaction.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You control the last يعني the last action you make, but you deal with the emotions.
Yes, we deal the emotion, we regulate emotions, we understand emotions, but we do not control emotions. It's part of human nature. What we can control is our reaction to that emotion.
Actions.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. So there was a question, Hala, as coaches, how can we dig deeper behind fear? In the same way, understanding that fear has a positive intention. And for fear, there's a little bit of a different tactic used. Fear is showing up because it's warning us that something might happen. And it's going to be different according to what kind of fear is showing up right now, because there are different fears. There's the fear of success, fear of dreaming, fear of failure, and fear of uh, upsetting people. So depending on the fear, which is really we can have a webinar on fears. So, but just to get it short, fear is just showing you that there's something that might happen. Take care. It's a warning sign. So you dig for the need and the value that this fear is trying to ask you about, and then you go from there. So, and as I mentioned, fear is also a big one. We can have a different and separate webinar for fears. But basically, it's about warning, and you just check in what kind of warning is showing up here. So, Lamia, you wanted me to go to the previous slide? Thank you, Hala. Or is this slide? Because basically this slide is the other side, other slide, but I'm just crossing things. So are we good, Lamia? Okay, so so let's see. So the previous one is the same really. So, but yes, so this one you need. Okay.
Yes, yes, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So, okay, so are we ready for the next thing? Okay. So, as fun as we are having right now, it's time to practice. So there's things that we have noticed. There's things that we knew now, learnings, or maybe confirmations. So I'm proposing two things we can do right now in practicing. Either when we go into a group of three now in breakout rooms, you can start to become a coach. One would become a coach, then a client, an observer. And please wait till the end because if you wait till the end, there's a gift. A very sweet gift from me. So waiting till the end will give you the gift. So there's a coach, a client, and an observer. When you come into a room, you can choose this scenario where the coach will support the client in understanding the need and value of an emotion-based scenario. The client would be present in their role and be in the moment, and there's going to be an observer who's going to notice how the unveiling of emotions happens and what values or needs would show up. This is one option. The other option is reflection. You would share your takeaways. Each participant would discuss what they learned, emphasizing new insights and versus prior knowledge. You can discuss your feelings about the demo and how emotions were managed during the session and identify the values or needs that surfaced and how you contribute and how are they contributing to the understanding of emotional based scenarios. So when you get in the room, you can decide together which one would you like best. Would that be okay? Okay, so let me now create the breakout rooms. So we are here 38 or becoming less now. Okay, okay, so you're going away. Okay, so 38, 37. Okay, so let's do this. So you're going to be assigned automatically the room now. Enjoy. Hello, hello, welcome back. Hello, Guliko. I see you're open the camera. Hello, hello. Hi. Okay. So it seems that you were excited. Everyone's having their camera on. Okay. So tell me, how did it go? I'm so excited to hear your reflections.
It was
Good.
perfect, but we needed more time actually.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought so more than 15 minutes. Okay. So thank you for the feedback. I will do it inshallah in the next webinar. Okay. So let's give it 20 minutes. Okay. So please do share your reflection. How did it go through the breakout session? What new things did you show up with? Who are the people who did the coaching session? Chose number one. So who chose number one? The first scenario, like coaching, observer. Okay. Oh, go ahead, Anna.
Oh, sorry, I was just raising my hand to say we chose number one. It was great.
Oh, okay. Okay. So who would like to share? Those who chose number one, what would you like to share about the insights, feedbacks, and the time you enjoyed together? Okay, Muhammad, please go ahead.
Thank you, Coach. I think you know me by now, like I'm very talkative.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Thank you. So I took the coach role with my partners, and I tried to follow actually the methodology you just talked about it today, about driving the emotion in one direction and reversing the emotion on the opposite directions. Okay. Of course, 15 minutes is very hard to get to the bottom of the situation and the issue, but I would like to hear from the client or coachee. I just saw the comments here. If like, how did I do?
Okay. So how did you feel? The coachee, how did it feel when Muhammad was coaching you? And the
It
observer as well. I would love to hear the observers as well. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, hi, this is Kim Yokish. I was the coachee and I felt I cried. I
Oh,
got very in touch with my emotions. To be honest, I had sort of this like surface level emotion that I'm dealing with like right now in terms of an email that I need to send to a potential client, and there's some fear around that. But Mohammed did an excellent job digging much deeper that surfaced some things. See, even now I'm talking about it and getting a little upset, but he surfaced some things that I didn't even realize were there, and then brought me out of that to what's possible when things work out how I hope them to work out. So it was an excellent excellent coaching session. So thank you.
oh, I'm impressed. So, Muhammad, how are you feeling now with that?
I'm speechless now because like, thank you for giving the chance. And I tried Lemis. I think I would like to hear from Lemis, but like I feel honored. Lemis was our observer. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Muhammad, for being a coach, and thank you, Kim, for being a coachee and being the client and for sharing and opening up with us. Thank you so much for that. So, Lamis, would you like to share about the observation process you had?
Yes, of course. Muhammad did a great job, and our coachee also. He noticed the verbal and non-verbal cues with our client. And I noticed the layers from being uncomfortable from the beginning of the session. And at the end, she noticed that she had a great feeling. يعني I noticed this shift in her mindset in just 10 minutes. Thank you, Rasha, for this methodology. And I'm impressed and speechless.
Oh, I'm hearing impressed, speechless from two persons now. Okay, great job, guys. Great job. And of course, let's say that this is just something I tried out during a coaching session and it worked. And it's based upon the definition of emotions are data. and that anger has so much many layers below it. And it can work with any emotion, but I'm just demoed that on anger. So thank you for enjoying that. So then Hala, you raise your hand. Please go ahead.
Yes, thanks for this great opportunity, Rasha. I was the coach with Leanne, the observer, and Ola, the client. And I'd love I'd love to hear from Leanne what she observed, and hear from Ola what if she got any insights.
Okay, please go ahead. She called you by your names. Now you
Okay.
should answer.
Yeah, yeah, I had to move things on my screen, sorry.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah,
Go
yeah.
ahead.
Okay, so as the observer, the conversation went pretty well. It was frustration that was the initial emotion that was identified. And then with that, there more came out with some questioning, that it was not feeling appreciated, understood, and underestimated were the things that were feeding into that frustration. And that seemed to be repeated over and over. So there was like a little bit of a flip on the asking about the emotion, and, you know, what would be the emotion if the person had agreed with Ola, and then she got to happy. That's where that ended up. That's as far as we got. We needed more time.
Yeah, very
okay.
much.
Yeah, actually, I needed more time, but we were doing well, actually. We were doing well.
So,
Did
yeah,
you get
please
any
go ahead and share.
insights, Ola?
I mean, I needed more time in order to to know exactly what the point that I'm going to start with my manager. So I think we needed more time. But it was really good. It was really good because you pointed out, or you dig deeper in order to get exactly what I feel. So thank you for this.
Hala did a good job.
You.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Wonderful.
Thanks, yeah.
Amazing.
Thank you,
amazing.
Rasha. Thank you for the great opportunity. It was really good.
Oh, you're so welcome. It's my pleasure. My pleasure. Okay. Yeah. So then who else? Who else did the coachee client thing, observer?
Assalamu
Who
alaikum.
else? Walaikum salam. Okay, go ahead, Ali.
Hi, Coach. First of all, we did the second exercise. We shared some insights and some reluctancy of if this tool is going to work with a real client. So we decided to, after talking to each other, we decided to do a coaching session. So we didn't have much time, but I think there was some movement from anger to frustration to lack of confidence. So, but we could not go back on those. So I would like to, from Coach Muhammad, we did not have an observer. I don't know, we were only two in the room. So maybe he'll give some insight. We could not finish, but we at least had the opportunity to do the actual exercise. I found it intriguing and an easy way to work with emotions. This is a reflection. This is what I came out of the session, that it's a really good tool to use with a really difficult subject.
Thank you.
So
Thank you for sharing that.
If the coachee can, if the Coach Muhammad can share what he thought of our conversation, that'll be good.
Okay. First of all, thank you, Alia, for sharing that. And to answer your question, that is this working really with the real clients? I did have this with a real client, and this demo was just a little bit of alteration to what happened within the coaching conversation, but it did work. So hopefully, if you really just let go.
This is what I'm saying. I mean, we had the reluctancy, maybe it's not, maybe could it work, it did not work. I found that when we did the session together, I found that it is working. We could not finish, but at least we went from one emotion to a second emotion to a third. So I found it really good. And I don't know, Coach Muhammad what his reaction
Okay.
is. So, but from my side, I really found it intriguing and I liked it, and I think it worked if we just continued with the conversation. At least we went from one emotion and we dug deeper to why he was feeling that way. So I think that was a good thing. So I don't know if he wants to share.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you for clarifying that. So yeah, okay, Muhammad Mosafi, right? You were the
Yeah,
client.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was the coachee, and frankly, I do not believe that much on this method, and this is why we firstly talk about the method and why we think it would work or not. But after that, I experienced that becoming a coachee and digging my emotions. I feel that it will work, and actually on those short time it makes some awareness for me. That was really fascinating, and I believe that if we continued with Coach Olia, I think we will find something exciting. And I just want to say thank you to Coach Olia. That was really helpful for me, and thank you, Rasha, for the exciting experience.
Oh, you're most welcome. And I'm happy that this was one of the reflections you got and one of the insights from being skeptical to believer in a way. And then I'm trying it. I'm just thinking that it's all about the time. So if I had more time, I have just grow wings and fly. I would have
Yeah,
some wings and
definitely.
fly. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you. Thank you, Mohammed. Okay, so anyone else would like to share their reflections?
I want to say something about this.
Sure.
Actually, it differs from a coach to a coach because not because the coach doesn't know how to handle the situation, but I think it's also the client. Some clients are capable of like reflecting or expressing their emotions in a way, and some other clients cannot express what they really feel. So I think it's not only because the coach, it's because the coach and the client. Yani it needs more time, more practice in order to have like the tool to deal with those clients who don't know how to express their feelings.
Yeah, I totally get you. So, and this brings me to the question of Anna's question. How do we support clients who are not really understanding their emotions or don't know what exactly is happening there, how to rename the emotions? So basically, you would start first to create the rapport. First of all, if it's a new client, you need to make sure that this person is really comfortable and that you are really giving them the space. And you're building a rapport with this person until they at least get some of their guards down. Then, in understanding their emotions, if they don't know what is this and how can they differentiate this from that, you would start by showing them the emotion wheels. So I understand that you're having different emotions now. So would you like me to show you a wheel of emotions or the emotional wheel? So it might support you in just pinpointing what are you feeling now. So then maybe they will say yes. Then you will show that through the whiteboard or through the share screen, and they will pick the first emotion. So let's say anger, for example, on another emotion. If they started to pick their emotions, you can either go deep by going to the second layer and third layer through the emotions wheel, or you might just ask some questions and also using the emotion wheels to confirm that. So probably it would be this. So let's say that this client was also confused. He picked 3 emotions, for example. Then you would support them by asking, so which one of them, look at those 3 emotions and give them a moment of silence and reflection. No need to rush this person. Which one do you feel is the most one that resonates with the actions and behaviors that are going on through right now? For example, this one way. So then they would sit for a moment and then they would probably pick one. And yes, Lanis, awareness happens between sessions and during the sessions, and sometimes after the whole package of sessions ends. By the way, sometimes it continues even after a year of working together, even after 4 sessions working together. Awareness, once you give the awareness, once you get this unleashed, the awareness, it's like several files in the computer of your brain. Once you open up a file, other files starts opening up gradually. Oh, great news. So after 2 months, there's also feedback. And my clients tell me that they hear my voice in their head. Exactly, yes, Aggie. They keep thinking of you. What would you say in that situation? Some clients would tell me that I'm starting to speak like you when I'm having a conversation with someone else. So they would start to say, okay, so I'm hearing that you are not feeling happy right now. So tell me more, and this is quite a funny, having it between non-coaches. Okay, great. Any other awareness? Any other reflections? If I were to ask you now, what is the one thing that you would like to leave? Or if you left today with this one thing, what's the most important thing that you took away from today? So, yeah. Okay, so let me check. Someone is raising their hand. Okay, Walid, go ahead.
First of all, thank you, Coach Rasha, for this amazing session.
You're most
I'm
welcome.
sure that myself and other participants have gained a lot of knowledge, even though this thing is easy, but yet at the same time it's complex. The thing that I would take away is that emotions are more than what it shows in the surface. And I like the thing, I like the information you said that emotions are neutral, they are not good or bad. So this is maybe a mind-boggling thing to know or to notice, but yeah, we can work from there. Thank you again for this amazing session.
You're most welcome, Walid. There's always a light at the end of the tunnel, and everything can be solvable. Or as Marie Forleo says, everything is figure outable. If anyone here knows Marie Forleo, they will know that this is one of her books. Okay, thank you, Walid, for that. So who else would like to share one of the treasures that they got out of today? So I'm so confident I'm saying treasures.
I'll look at the chat, Rasha, if there's a lot of
Yeah, I'm
message.
looking. I'm putting hearts. Thank you, Alia. Yeah. So hearts and being grateful. It's really easy tool to use. Thank you, Alia. Thank you. Goliko, thank you. Okay. So as I'm saying thank yous, there's something showing up in the screen right now because I don't want to keep you as we're already 5 minutes past the hour. Let's stay connected. This is a QR code for me, for everything that you'd like to know about me, where you can connect to my podcast and everything. So I would love to connect with you. And I would love if you would share your opinion about this the feedback on this session today. And for everyone who's going to share their opinion and the feedback, they would get a free ebook of my book, a free copy of my book. Yeah, a free copy of my book. So for everyone, I would be very happy if I heard your feedback there as well. So, Yaki, very helpful session, taking away to ask about the need and value being expressed behind the emotions. Really helpful. Thank you, Ruby.
Coach Rasha, where we put the feedbacks?
Yeah, within the link. The QR code is showing in the screen. If not, then here is this links. The first one is my link tree where you can connect with everything. And the second one is the survey, the feedback. Please give me your feedback and I would love to hear from you. Sorry, hello, what? Yeah, okay. Yeah. So I'm gonna stay like for 2 minutes, just for you to get everything you need from the links and just to feel that everything is going fine. So, any other questions or reflections or anything that you would like to say?
So
I'm here.
it's Nirala. Thank you. I've been coaching for a long time, but I have to say that there's so many new things I picked up. So deep gratitude to you for the session.
Oh, thank you, Nirala. Thank you so much. I'm happy that you got something new out of today. So, was this learning something I got from the EQ training and certifications? Actually, it's a part of my experience. It's everything, actually. It's not about the EQ, but more of me being, let's say, having the need and to know more about emotions. And Susan David did a great job with that. So, using my coaching techniques with the knowledge I got from Susan David, I came up with this demo, for example, and other things that might show up. I didn't prepare this demo beforehand when I had the coaching conversation with my client. It just showed up in the coaching conversation with her when I was doing the coaching. And then I thought, why not share this with the world? It's easy, it's simple, and it's based on knowledge because Susan David is a psychologist, and she had so much research on what are emotions. So yeah, that's how it came up. Okay, so Muhammad Shafi. Okay, go ahead.
Shukran.
And then,
It's observation more than anything else because I think this is my fourth or fifth time to attend one of your sessions, and I just want to express my gratitude for even your methodology of engaging the audience and for making any topic easy to understand and absorb. So thank you.
thank you, Muhammad. Thank you for letting me know that what I'm trying to do is working. Thank you. Thank you for that. So, how would you like to end our session today? This is a coaching question, by the way, and a partnering question. How would you like to end our coach session today? So, yeah, it's 9 minutes past the hour, but let's take a minute to wrap up. How would you like to end today? Would you like to do something? Emojis, use emojis to express how you're feeling. Okay, let's do that. Use emojis now to express how are you feeling. Oh, thank you, Noor. Thank you, Alia. Sleeping is important, but for today, I will pass. Okay, I will let it pass. Okay. Yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate each and every one of you. And I'm grateful too. Thank you, Noor. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Anna. Okay, perfect then. So, with that being said, would then this be a good time for us to end our session today? This is also something I can use in the coaching session. Okay. So, goodbye, everyone, and see you soon. And good night for those night people, and good day for those still having their day. Thank you so much for attending today, and see you next time very, very soon.